Okay. Yeah, 1 minute. Right. So let's get into the session. Now, so we will see like few of the things like very quickly that about introduction about the core Java and why we need to learn Java programming. What are the things we can go ahead. So the first thing is history. So this is just like no need to think like it is a class lecture or something. I mean, people who are very new to Java, this is just like thumbs up, making sure like at least we know the history and some of the basic things about Java. Like before learning something, we need to know like about that history and a little brief introduction about that language. So we know that Java is a high-end programming language and it is created by James Gosling when he worked in Sun Microsystem in 1991, right? So they have different versions of Java. You guys know that we are using Android 11, right? So after some time, they will release with the new features with the version with Android 12, then 13, so on. Like that, when they introduced Java first time to the public, so they named it as JDK 1.0, right? Or you can say JDK 1. So Java 1 or JDK 1 that is released on 1996, right? So you can see that from 1996, what is today? Today we are in 2021, right? So more than 25 years, Java is sustaining in the IT industry. You can say Java is ruling in IT industry, right? And in 2010, Java is, Sun Microsystem acquired it got acquired by Oracle Corporation. So then officially Java now it belongs to Oracle Corporation, right? And the latest version, I think it is 15 or 16. We will see that. And why we need to learn Java? This is quite interesting. What is the point? Why we need to learn Java, right? So why we need to learn Java? What is the point? There are many, points are there, but learning Java is simple and easy. I mean, I'm not simply telling because I'm teaching past 4 years. I feel like learning Java is easier than C or C++. Understanding all the concepts quite in depth is quite easier than other like C or C++. And because they made everything in a very better way, so there is no complex like pointers or memory management and all. Java is quite simple and easy. And as I said, the first version is introduced on 1996, right? And Java is invented on 1991. So from that time, more than 25-30 years, Java is ruling the industry. So still the scope is there. If you see some other languages, some other softwares or languages, they come into industry, they sustain for 5 years or 2 years or 10 years. After that time it goes away, then it's not good. Consider like you are spending more time you know for learning particular language, and you are learning that. After some time you are working also around 5 years. Consider that technology itself gone out of industry, then it is bad, right? I mean, the good example is like Visual Basic, VB.NET, or C#.NET. I'm not telling like it is completely away from the industry like C#.NET and all, but slowly it is going away, right? So good thing about Java is still there are many projects are running in Java, right? So if there are many projects are in Java, then of course job openings will be more, right? So that is also one of the advantage. And why Java is still stronger, and how it can able to sustain in industry means, you know, a few of the open source community, they have developed their own frameworks like Spring, Hibernate, and all. So what is meant by open source? You might be asking the question, right? So they have taken the Java source code, they have worked on their own projects, by using, you can say, like Spring, for example, or Hibernate, you can say. So they have implemented everything, how to interact with the database, everything, and they exposed those codes into the entire world. That is called open source. Source code itself, they have shared it to the entire world, so that anyone can use that as a software. Now if you see, like many of the companies, they are using Hibernate framework, right? So the most of the time is, you know uh, consumed, right? So we no need to again sit and develop one framework for, usually we use, JDBC, right? There are many disadvantages in JDBC, Java database connectivity. For avoiding that only, we are going with the Hibernate. Already they have developed, and there is a software readily available, which reduces most of the disadvantages of JDBC. So, we are going with the Hibernate. We no need to develop from the scratch. Already few developers, few of the companies, they have developed those open source frameworks, right? So our job is, we can simply, use that software, complete our work. You know, the time is very much consumed, right? That is the first advantage. Second advantage is, suppose consider, on top of that you want to develop some more things. Consider you are taking the Hibernate, right? So you are taking the Hibernate, you have the source code. On top of that, you want to, implement some more things, right? Develop some more things. Again, you can give it as open source to the entire world. That is again, like, lots of time and, big effort is saved, right? So that is also one of the advantage. Okay, one other the important thing is, why, to what is the very good advantage in using the Java thing. So one thing is, like, it is easy to integrate with other tools and technologies. Suppose when we are working in the real-time project, right? So we will use other tools and technologies with the project, right? Say for example, Git is a code repository tools, right? Where we are going to store our code, right? Entire code base we will be storing with the in some code repository. Say for example, Git, and Maven or Ant and Maven, those are build tools, right? That is mainly using for building the project. I mean, in case if you cannot able to understand this point, that is fine. But just higher level, you know in a project we will use 10 to 20 tools and technologies, right, along with Java. So integrating or working with Java with these tools and technologies is very easier, right? It is compatible. So we can integrate Java in a easy way, right? It will support it. And finally, like, as I said, what is the main advantage? There are many very good projects are running in Java. If there are more projects are there, of course, job openings will be more. So getting job openings will be good. So, and also we can expect very good salary in the industry. So I mean, my thinking is that, I mean, we no need to worry about the salary, but compare with other languages, other technologies, Java will give very good salary. So, and also, like, job consistency is there. I see, like, in my company or the company's organizations where I work, people will be like 20 years experience, 15 years experience, past 20 years they have worked on Java itself. So as I said, we no need to worry that this will be outdated. So we need to learn completely, it will be outdated. We need to switch into something differently. And no, not like that. So Java is consistent because it has all these advantages, right? So some of the features about Java, in case, if you are not able to get all the features, that's okay. This is just like high level, right? So no need to worry in case if you didn't get 100 percentage, no need to worry, right? So the one important feature is why Java could able to sustain in industry. Like before going to this topic, if you take any C sharp or C sharp.net or any some of the softwares or languages, that will be platform independent. It means I can execute C sharp.net or ASP.net. I can start working on that project in Windows itself, right? I can develop it and I can run it in Windows machine only. I cannot run or work on Linux machine or Mac OS, right? So it is only dependent to that platform. That is called platform, right? Dependent with the platform. But what about Java? Java is platform independent. It means I can develop some project in Windows and I could able to run the project on Linux or Mac or any other operating system. That's how they have designed. So you can develop the project in particular place and and you can run it on different machines, right? So we can compile or whatever we have developed, that is called source code, right? Suppose all the programs, whatever we are doing, whatever application we are developing, that is called source code. That source code will be compiled and right. I am telling about the development, right? So that source code, right, we need to convert into bytecode. That is called machine level code, right? Then JVM, what it does is Java virtual machine that takes that source code, bytecode, and it will execute at the different machines, right? Like Windows or Linux or Mac. So in short, Java is platform independent. It means you know it we will see very in depth how it is converting all the things in the future sessions. But for now you can think that I can develop one application in one machine, Windows machine. I can able to run it on Linux or Mac or any other operating system, right? And second thing is that Java is very much powerful because of object oriented concept, right? So when James Gosling invented, when he started developing about Java, mostly the prime concern is, object oriented design. So in Java, everything is object, right? Because why it can be, object oriented? Because, that is easy to develop many concepts, many topics in Java, so that it has very good advantages. In the future, we will see, what is meant by object oriented, what are the concepts like class, objects, polymorphism, inheritance, right? Those in-depth details we will see in our future sessions. And third important topic is Java is simple, right? Because like mostly the syntax are from C and C++, Java is simple. And here I want to clarify one thing. Few people think that for learning Java we need to learn C and C++, then only we can able to learn Java. Few people think that way, but it is not as it is. For learning Java, you no need to know about C or C++, right? In case if you know C and C++, that is good. But Java is not completely like, coming from C or C++. Syntax might be, few of the syntax might be same, few of the concepts might be same, but, it is not like entirely it is deriving everything. No. So we can learn the Java directly, right? That is what I'm trying to say. And whatever disadvantages we add it in C or C++, confused topics, right? Those things are, we can get rid of in Java. So in Java, they, excluded those topics like, memory managements. We no need to worry like how the data is stored or objects are stored in memory, right? Java JVM only will take care of it. So as a developer, we only need to worry about how to work on our project, how to develop the requirements, right? So that is the main advantage, right? So it is simple. Okay, so we have seen, the brief introduction about Java, history and advantages of Java, why we need to learn Java, everything we have seen it, right? So in this session, we will see that, how we can, download and install required softwares, right? So for developing Java, we need a few of the softwares, right? Few of the softwares we need. So we will see what are those softwares and how to download and install those softwares. The first and foremost, the important software is first one is JDK, right? You can say JDK or Java software, whatever. I mean, in the very high way, it is a Java related software, right? So, what is meant by JDK? It is a Java development kit, right? You can note down these points. I mean, some of them are important. So, what is meant by Java development kit? You can say it is a kit or suitcase, right? Inside box, we are having couple of tools, right? You are having a suitcase. Inside that suitcase, you are having couple of tools, right? Different variety of tools. Those are used for performing some task. Same way, JDK is a software. Inside that, you are having couple of small exe files, small softwares, which used for developing the application, right? Developing the Java application or Java project, right? Java development kit. JDK is a kit, right? Which is consist of different softwares for building the application, building the Java application. So first thing is we need JDK software that we need to download and install it. Second one is some IDE or Notepad or Notepad plus, right? So we need to see how to download where we are going to write our program, right? So we need like Notepad or Eclipse, right? It is an IDE. You can say Eclipse, it is an IDE, integrated development environment, right? So this is mainly used for, where we are going to develop our, where we are going to write our code. So either we can use Eclipse. There are different IDEs are there. One is Eclipse, IntelliJ. These two are mostly used. So even in our real-time applications, we are using these two. Mostly people are using Eclipse. So we will be using Eclipse. So if any other softwares are required in the future, we will see how to download and install. First, we will not use IDEs because if we use IDEs directly, we will miss many concepts. So what we will do is, first we will see at least around 50 to 100 programs, how to develop the programs using Notepad or Notepad++, right? There only we will come to know how to develop how to write the code, how to compile it manually, right? And how to run the application. So there are some commands are there, then we will come to know what are the things are happening in the background. Once we developed using Notepad or Notepad++, then we will, after some time, we will start using Eclipse. So Eclipse, that time we will be knowing all the concepts, background things, then Eclipse will be pretty straightforward, right? So these are the things we are going to see how we are going to use it. So what you can do is, as I said, JDK now it belongs to Oracle. So Oracle, it is a paid version. In case if you are using Oracle Java, then you need to pay and use it. So some of the open source community, what they have done is they, have their own open JDKs, right? So there is an organization called Azul. So what they have done is they release their own open JDKs. In my projects and many companies they are using Azul, right? Zulu one. So what you can do is, right? You can go to Google. You can go to Google. So what you can do is you can type. You can go to Google. You can say Zulu JDK download, right? Okay, so you can go to Google and searching like Zulu JDK download, you will be getting the first link, azul.com, right? So what you can do is you can go inside this, you will be having something like this, right? So there is an option called download, right? You will see this is their web application. So here you can see download Zulu. There is an option called download Zulu. When you click it, it is taking us down. So here you will see there are different versions are there. The current version is JDK 16, right? Java 16. So you can download any version, but make sure you are using JDK 8 or above version, right? So mostly all the softwares are supported by JDK 8 or above version, right? So what you can do is you can select any version, either 8 or above than that. Consider like we are downloading, 16. 16 is the latest one, right? We will see. So then which is the operating system you are going to use, right? So mostly we are using Windows machine, right? If you are using Windows, then like select Windows. If you are using Linux machine, you can select Linux. If you are using Mac, then you can select Mac OS, right? So let's go with Windows. It is basically, it is a filter, right? So you are getting two options. Either you want MSI installer or you want the zip file, right? So what you can do is you can download the zip file, right? Architecture again, either it is a 64-bit or 32-bit, accordingly you can download it. I have selected 64-bit because my machine is 64-bit. So you no need to download the MSI installer. Always download with the zip one because it is lightweight. You can just download that zip file and extract it. So we can see that JDK is getting downloaded. So the software is getting downloaded. We can wait that software, for getting completed. Once you download the software, the second thing is we need to download Notepad++, right? Notepad++ we need to download. Again, go to Google, just type download Notepad++, right? So you will see first is one listed notepad++.org. Go there. So inside that there is a option called downloads, right? There are different versions are there, 7.9.5. So you can download the latest one, click the first one. So there is a option called download. You can click that link. Yeah, so once you click the link, you can see that there is an exe file which is downloaded. So our second software also ready. So now what we will do is we will see how we can use this software now. We can see that the software is downloaded here, right? The software is downloaded here, Zulu JDK and Notepad++. Notepad++ is a simple installation. You can double click it. It is a Windows installer, right? So you can just like install it. It is not tough task, right? In case if you have 32-bit machine, you can download accordingly. When we selected the Windows 64, right, there is an option called 32-bit. You can use that one. Now what I can do is I can copy this software into the place where I can, there is, you can keep it in the desired location, right? So there is I have a folder called softwares. I am moving that software. This is the zip file, right? So once you downloaded the zip file, you can just unzip it. You can use 7-zip or WinRAR, anything you can use. Okay, I will be using 7-zip. So you can see extract Zulu. So I am extracting it. So the software zip file is getting extracted. Here we are seeing how to install the JDK, right? Once you extracted the software, it will be like this. This is the extracted software, right? This is the extracted software. This is how the structure will be, right? This is how the structure will be. So far what we have seen how to download and install JDK, right? So same thing we have seen, right? Going to Zulu, going to Google and typing Zulu JDK download, then downloading the JDK according to the OS, according to 32-bit or 64-bit. Second thing is this we will come later. Then we have seen how to download and install Notepad++, right? So once we done, so now the second thing is we have downloaded the Java software, right? How to use it? We have downloaded and installed. Installation is nothing but extracting the software, right? Just like JDK, installing JDK is nothing but just like unzip it or extracting the software, right? So once we extracted the software, then we need to use the software. We need to know how to use that Java, how to set up the Java, right? That is called, I was telling like how to set up the software. This and all one time task, you no need to worry, only one time you need to do. First thing is you just go to start menu, type environment variable or edit environment variable, right? Edit environment variable. Going to the start button, typing environment variable, right? Environment variable. So when I go with environment variable, you just go to the start menu and type environment variable, click the first one. You will get environment variable system properties window, right? So once you get it, what you can do is, what we are trying to do, simple. We downloaded the JDK software, we have extracted it. Now we need to make sure we could able to write some programs, we could able to compile it, and we could able to run it, right? For that purpose, by default, in our laptop or machine, there can be any number of softwares, right? But how we can execute it? We need to convey to machine, right? Windows or Mac or Linux, saying that, hey, I have installed the Java software. Please go into this location and use that software. We need to direct our operating system, right? How to use it. That purpose only we are doing. We are setting the path environment variable, right? So what I will do, I'll just go to path environment variable. There is a window called environment variables. Click this. So you will get one more window, right? You will get one more window, right? So once you get this environment variables, right? Once you see this window, there is a option called new. Just go to new. Just go to new. Click new. Just hold on. Once we click new, right? So you will be seeing a thing called variable name and variable value. What you can do is blindly you can type so what you can do is you can just type what you can do is in the variable name you can type java underscore home variable value. So in variable value, what you can do is you need to see where you have installed your JDK, right? Where you have installed the JDK. Go to the location where you have extracted. So we have extracted in C drive software Zulu. This is the location. Click on the this one address bar, copy the address, complete address, right? So I'm copying the address. Copy that address, then what you do, just give it in under variable value, right? Just give it under variable value, right? So we need to set the java home here, right? Click ok, right? Just click ok. Once you click the OK, so you can see that this is the new one, right? Where we have set the Java home. The second step is there is a option called path, right? You can see the path right here. There is an option called path, right? Here you can see, right? You need to double click on this or edit the path option here, right? Edit the path option. So once you edit the path option, you will get option one, something like this. You click new here. Once you click new here, you will be getting one window, right? You will be getting one window. So there what you can do is you can type percentage Java, whatever name you have given there, same thing you can copy paste here or type it Java home. Then you can type /bin, right? /bin. See here, I have done something like this, right? What I have done, it's simple. I just typed something like this, java_worm/bin, right? So this is the thing, that's all. I will repeat it again, no need to worry. I'll repeat it again. So we are just set the path environment variable, right? Now I'll just tell why we need to do this, right? Why we need to do this, right? So we know that already we have, have our Java software, right? We have downloaded and installed here. Inside bin only, there are some of the, this is JDK, right? Some of the exe files. In case if you want to compile the application or file, you need to use javac filename.java. Internally we'll be using javac command for compiling the application. For running the application, java class name, right? So this also will be using like this. All these things we'll be using, but the Windows machine or operating system does not aware these files are there in this location. So we are telling to operating system saying that, hey, go to this location, C drive software Zulu. Inside bin you can find all the softwares. If you want to, if I am typing javac command, you should internally go to this location and see that whether it is there or not, right? Whether it is there or not, right? Whether it is there or not. So this is the advantage of setting the path environment variable. Guys, 1 minute, I'm coming. So you need to understand why we are setting this path environment variable. So this is like, as I said, we have multiple softwares in our machine, right? So, but we need to convey, we need to run the application or develop our Java application, right? When we are developing, we need to compile it, we need to run it. So for compiling purpose, as I said, there are different softwares, different small exe files are required. You are saying, right, javac.exe file you are seeing in my screen, javac.exe, which I have selected. Can you guys able to see? Could you please reply? Okay, so javac is used for some compilation purpose. Java is for running purpose. Java doc, this is for generating documentation, right? So all these small things, everything is available here. By default, Windows machine cannot able to identify, Java is installed or not. We need to tell to Windows machine or any other machine like Mac or Linux saying that, yes, Java is installed. Go to this place, C drive software Zulu bin, and find out. You will have all the small exe files here. Use this whenever I am compiling javac, whenever I am running Java command, right? Suppose we are opening the command prompt, right? When we are opening the command prompt, when we are running like javac file name.java, then Windows should know where this, what is this javac. What it will do, it will go to path environment variable. It will see, is there any path environment variable is there for javac. It will go and identify step by step. There are 5 variables are there, means it will go all the location. We have already set, right, inside bin. So it will go here and it will see, yes, javac is there. Then internally it will call this javac.exe file, right? It will call javac.exe file. Control goes to javac.exe file. So javac file comes into picture, then it will compile it, right? This is the background of why we are setting the path environment variable. Please go through this slide. Thank you. So here what you need to do, set is simple. Just go to start menu, click start menu, just type edit system environment variables, right? One window will be opened. system properties window will be opened, right? System properties window will be opened. So what you need to do, there is an option called environment variables. Click new. Just go to environment variables, click environment variables. Then what you do, click new. Once you click new, you will be getting like one more window. There what you need to do, just type Java home, Java underscore home, Java underscore home. Then value, what the value you need to give up to the JDK directory, whatever you have installed. Once you do is, second step is click path. In system properties, there is an option called path. Go to new, then type Java underscore home slash bin, right? Slash bin. I will show you again what we have done. It's simple. First going to system properties, right? Going environment variables, creating Java home first, right? Java home first. Create Java home, give the values, right? Once you give the values, just like typing Java underscore home, right? You are setting Java underscore home, going here, creating new environment variable, Java underscore home, giving the value here. After giving here, going into place called path. Here you are typing Java home slash bin. You are directing up to this place, up to bin. Then press OK, OK, and OK, right? So this way, what you have done, so you have installed, right, path environment variable, right? Now how we will see how we can, making sure Java is installed fine or not, whether we have set the path environment variable or not, right? So for that purpose, what you can do, go to command prompt, go to start menu, and type command prompt, right? Here what you can do, you just type Java-version. If you see now, you should type Java-version. Can you able to see my screen, command prompt? We need to type Java-version, right? So it will list out what software we have installed, right? We have installed JDK 1.6, right? Currently we have downloaded JDK 1.6 and we have extracted it and we have done the setting of path environment variable. If you should get this message like which version you have, when you are trying to use Java version, you should see this information, OpenJDK version 16. This is how you can make sure that you have downloaded successfully, you have installed the JDK successfully, and setting up of path environment variable is success, right? Why we are setting path environment variable? To make sure, Windows machine can able to identify your installation of Java, right? Your installation of Java, right? Yeah, as part of today's session, we have seen brief introduction about Java, history about Java, what are the advantages of learning Java, and how to download the required softwares, like JDK in Notepad++, how to download and install it, how to set the path environment variable, right? Eclipse download and installation we will see in the future sessions. So as you guys know that, this is, I'll just give little brief about the training session, because few people, I see that, they they are asking about the session. So myself, Kumar, so I have around 9+ years experience in IT industry, and 4+ years experience in teaching. I teach Java frameworks, other technologies, right? And brief about the course. This is a 2.5 months course, right? So overall, I will teach around 1,000 programs line by line. In case if you don't know anything in programming also, it's fine, because you guys know that already we started this way only, right? So 1,000 programs I will teach line by line, and all things from very basic to till very advanced. I will go very deeper, right? It means all programs I will type line by line. I will explain line by line coding. Okay. I will explain line by line coding, so that when you are completing the course, you will be very good in coding. You will be hands-on. So when you are completing the course, you will get at least 2 to 3 years real-time experience knowledge. It means if a person is working in IT past 2 years, same knowledge you should get it. Mostly I'll be sharing the real-time things, because I'm working in the industry. So for this course, it will be around 150+ hours duration, right? Totally I'm telling. So the fees is 4,000 rupees. Like I already spoke with few of the people, but I mean, people already, few of the people, they paid the fee. People who would like to join the course, they already paid the fee. Few people said they will attend the demo session and they will pay the fee. I mean, in case if you are fine, if you really would like to join the course, that's fine. You can again WhatsApp me to my number saying that, sir, I really want to join the course. So you can pay the fee. In case if you are not able to pay the fee at one shot, that's okay. I can give, you can pay in 2 installment. You can pay 2,000 first. After 1 month, you can pay remaining 2,000. And a few people who would like to attend one more session, sir, I want to attend one more session, then only I can pay the fees. That is also fine. You can attend the session and you can pay the fee.